Have you spent your life translating everyone's feelings only to get blamed when things fall apart? Well, here's the twist. You were never the problem. You were the family's translator. Recognizing that saved my sanity. As kids, many of us became experts at reading rooms. We knew when a sigh meant trouble or when danger was spelled out by silence. We learned to diffuse fights before they erupted, keeping peace by anticipating needs. In dysfunctional families, kids often fall into roles: the hero, the mascot, the lost child, or the scapegoat. These roles keep the system stable. The scapegoat carries the blame and often becomes the truth teller. The hero holds up appearances, and some of us, like me, became the mediator. I translated unspoken hurts into humor, negotiated truces, and kept things smooth. But conflict resurfaced, and when it did, and it always did, I was accused of stirring the pot. I internalized that blame for years. Later, I realized the pattern. The mediator soothes tension that isn't theirs to carry, while the scapegoat speaks truths others refuse to face. No wonder empaths confuse guilt with evidence of being defective. In reality, you were acting from intuition in a system that punished it. Being the translator means absorbing everyone's emotions until you can't tell what's yours. You become the emotional thermostat, constantly adjusting yourself so no one boils over. Over time, that leads to enmeshment. You lose track of your own voice. Here's the metaphor that freed me. Imagine you're an interpreter at a chaotic gathering. Everyone depends on you to translate. But if the conversation turns ugly, it's not the interpreter's fault. That's how I realized my role was to interpret because others refused to learn the language of feelings. It was never my job to fix or absorb their distress. From a spiritual perspective, true presence doesn't mean fusing with other people's pain. Presence means clarity, knowing what belongs to you and what doesn't. You can witness without carrying. Try this if you feel stuck in the translator role. Identify the role. Reflect on your family of origin. Which role did you play? Hero, mascot, lost child, scapegoat, or mediator? Write down examples. Separate feeling from fixing. When someone unloads on you, pause and ask, is this mine to solve? Or can I just witness? Place a hand on your heart and picture a boundary around you. Return to sender. Visualize handing back emotions you've been carrying. Fear, anger, sadness. Returning them to their rightful owners with love. Voice truth without owning outcomes. State a boundary or need without apology. Remind yourself their reaction is theirs to manage. This work can feel unsettling. You may fear being called selfish. That's conditioning. The belief that your worth comes from service. But kindness doesn't require self-abandonment. You can be compassionate without being someone else's emotional dump. Expect pushback. People used to you translating may accuse you of being cold or not caring anymore, and that's okay. As you disentangle, you may even grieve the closeness you thought you had. Sometimes mediation makes us feel needed, and without it, the space can feel like loneliness. But that space is where self-connection and true mutual relationships can grow. Over time, you shift from being a sponge to being a mirror. You reflect emotions back without soaking them in. You speak truths without owning the backlash. And you realize your empathic gifts were never flaws. They were signals pointing you towards sovereignty. If this resonates, I explore these themes in my Sovereignty Sequence course, which is currently free for qualified applicants. We go deeper into family roles, boundaries, and reclaiming empathic gifts. The link is below if you'd like to check it out, or you can check out this free masterclass which walks through the sequences map through the dark night of the soul and into embodied sovereignty. And as always, may the shadow wane and the stardust remain.